Wij zijn Assemblea Nacional Catalana met dezelfde ANC. Wij zijn een groep Catalanen, of bijna Catalanen, die in Nederland wonen, die begaan zijn met de Catalaanse zaak. Wat wij vandaag graag willen, is dat men begrijpt wat er daadwerkelijk in Catalonië en Spanje gaande is. En ons doel voor vandaag is vooral om het te bekijken vanuit een internationaal juridisch perspectief. Maar ook vanuit meer het lokale. Wat is er daadwerkelijk gaande met de mensenrechten en et cetera. En ik geef nu over aan meneer Jeff Handmaker. Hij zal de moderator zijn en hij zal onze gasten introduceren. De rest van de middag zal in Engels gebeuren. En ik wens u allemaal veel plezier.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Jeff Handmaker. I'm working at the International Institute of Social Studies of Erasmus University of Rotterdam. Unlike the very distinguished speakers at this table, I'm not an expert on this issue. Although I do work a lot on issues around self-determination, on human rights. I teach human rights. And I used to work in South Africa. So when I was invited by the ANC to chair an event, I had to take a couple of steps backwards. But it really is a huge honor to be here with you. Thank you very much for coming here to hear and perhaps for a number of you to learn more about this very important issue. Now, the goal of this event, as I've understood from the organizers, is to basically ask a number of very legal and political questions. So how can mobilizing the right to self-determination contribute to solving the existing political crisis in Catalonia through democratic means? So of course this asks legal questions, it also asks political questions. And in this sense, this event does not attempt to be neutral, nor to show all existing opinions in Catalonia, but to explain how self-determination is perceived from a pro-independence perspective, which few in the Netherlands certainly have ever really heard. The narrative usually tends to be one particular narrative, not the narrative which you're going to be hearing this afternoon. And all this entails two overarching questions. The first being, what is legally the right to self-determination? Well, as I introduce the speakers, I think it will become very clear to you that we have some very eminent experts on this topic. But how does this apply to the specific independence claim of Catalan? Well, that is a very specific legal question. What are the potential consequences of operationalizing this right? That is a political question, and we're going to be discussing both. The second overarching question is, how can the Catalan independence claim be more widely understood? Well, obviously, one of the main reasons for organizing this event, as I understand from the organizers, the ANC, is that the media in this country, and I have certainly been the recipient of that media, tends to understand this issue from a very pro-union perspective. In other words, the Catalan perspective of the ANC is very rarely, if ever, presented. Also missing, which I observe a lot as an international lawyer, is that the legal perspective is missing as well. And therefore the debate has actually been rather shallow, if I may say so, here in the Netherlands. We are going to go quite deep in this conference in the next few hours. We're together, and we're going to hear from four speakers who I will briefly introduce. The first being Mr. Ben Emerson. He is going to speak first because he unfortunately is going to have to leave a bit earlier. Again, the program is stated differently because he has to catch his flight back to London. Mr. Emerson is a UK barrister with more than a quarter century of experience, more than 25 years. He is an expert in human rights, and as I heard over lunch, has been working on many crucial human rights issues around the world, including this very important and broad-ranging human rights issue in Catalan. He's a former United Nations Special Rapporteur on counterterrorism and human rights, and he advocates the government of Spain has violated the right to participate in political life through its repressive legal crackdown. Thank you, Mr. Emerson. We will hear, actually, I think it might be nice to, now that we've heard your introduction, to now hear from you, and then I'll introduce each of the speakers in turn.